President of the South African National Taxi Council, Motlhabane Tsebe. Thank you so very much for joining us on CheckPoint, the podcast. The taxi industry, in many ways, I don't think as South Africans we stop to just acknowledge that you are probably one of the biggest and best examples of Black economic empowerment even before it was policy. And it's been a long road. I mean, from the pirate days during apartheid and to now, you're estimated to be worth 100 billion rand.
Yes.
So the world is changing.
Yes.
The public transport sector is changing. The offerings are changing. The commuter is changing.
Yes.
The commuter's needs are changing.
Yes.
And preferences.
Yes.
Is the taxi industry in South Africa transforming to accommodate all these changes?
Yes. It's time. We are moving towards that. You'll
How?
see, we already started the digitization of the industry to deal with the cashless. We've got a pilot, or it's a program that is already working between the route and it's Pretoria to run. It's my own association because I wanted to test the poison before I can. But it's a national agenda. People, they don't want the that system. You know, you can't get the youth into the system because they will always request, pay, get a transport and move. So that's exactly what we are doing. This program by SANTACO is operational between this route that I've mentioned, your Randburg and Pretoria route. Yeah, it's a cashless system. But remember, when you go to cashless system, you need to look the economy of the rank as well. You've got drivers that you must formalize. And we don't want a situation where drivers are saying, you took our socks money and you are bringing no value to us, and there will be resistance. So what we've done is that we formalize labor. We spoke to the Department of Labor, and we formalize our drivers. Those that are operating that route are fully registered legally, and we formed a company for that particular. So you address corporatisation, but at the same time, because you cannot move digitalization on a structure that is not controllable. So you first corporatize the association, and obviously an association is formed of different individuals. Some they do have, some they are still working as individuals in their business. They don't have something that is registered. The business is still in his name. Anything that goes wrong into the business affects the whole system.
So are you registering drivers or owners or both?
Both.
Both.
Yes.
And then when you register the drivers, are they registered as employees or what are they? Okay.
Employees,
And then
yes.
do they have full labor rights?
Yes. That's now the compliance now.
Are they?
Yes.
On this route?
On that route.
Randburg to Pretoria.
To Pretoria,
they have
yes.
full rights. In
Full
other words,
rights.
they don't work 7 days a week, 24 hours. They
They've got
work
leave days.
legal
Yeah.
hours.
Yes.
They've got leave days.
Yes.
Seriously.
Seriously.
You pay them a minimum wage.
Yes.
The
that's a minimum.
UIF is deducted from them.
Yes.
They pay tax.
Yes. Everything.
Monthly.
Yes. And the program is done by World Bank as a consultant and DBSA as a funder.
Okay.
You'd look at how the route is operating. They've got new buses that are coming in now. The name, remember first, our names was like colonialism when they were saying to you, when you are in Ndebele, you are in Ndebele. Botswana is Botswana. Tina, we said, no, we need to get out of the box because no one put us in this box. Let's come up with proper names to run business, not route or area-based permits. That route is called, the company that they register, I think it's, because the route belongs to Pretoria Randburg Taxi Association. But
Okay.
Thanda Bantu, it's a company of those owners on that route. They are one now. So there's no need for them to wake up or have breakdowns. It's a formal business now. They've got offices. There are people that are doing car wash and these cashless cards that commuters and drivers are using. Obviously, a driver must be able to buy food at the rank, because if you close that system, now it does not address the ecosystem, because labo mama that are cooking at the rank, they need to survive as well. So that card and the facility that we put on the decks, we always can put on no mama or petengi, and also on the one that is doing car wash. You just tap, you eat your breakfast, and it gives you a limit. If it's 100 rand, it's 100 rand. You can't go past that one. We've got a relationship with the filling stations. how to put petrol. So the
using that same card.
The same card. Yeah, remember government is coming with the integrated public transport plan.
Yes.
Which one card must be able to get into Gautrain, get into Prasa train.
Well, that's been in the works for years, hasn't it? It's been a goal for years.
Yes.
So, and you're going to roll this out to the entire country?
To the entire country.
And what has the reception been?
Our passengers.
In all areas.
Communities are happy. Because it creates even more formal jobs. For our communities, it's formal and they're happy. There's no more carrying cash because now these days it's dangerous as well to carry. Yeah. So, we are able now to take control and say, look, taxis are cashless, but remember, it won't cover all the areas in South Africa. There are those areas that obviously, like the ones that are hooting on there, how do you address that? How do you load the card? And so the system is going, we are learning, as we are on the learning curve to have proper people, but as we go on and have proper succession plan, our kids will go to school, they will come in, of course, to come and assist to take it forward. But this is a legacy platform for us, to say we've done it and we manage. And remember, the cashless, the cake is just too big. It's not one company that can do that. The digital companies are still have to come to SANTACO, do a presentation. We can accommodate as long as provinces will bring the preferred service provider. We've now signed with Sandal in terms of the PTOS SANTACO. And as we are running that project, Sandal is part of us in terms of now how at the real time how the owner gets his money, because they are used to money. If you keep their money for long,
they're used to cash. Yeah,
they use, so they must every day later it must cash out. So it's happening now. I'm seeing it because I'm also affected. I can be able to tell stories that I know, that I've seen, that is happening to me.
And how do they cash it out?
They will give you money. Look, if later your car, in fact, during the operation, it tells you if your car moves from Pretoria coming to Randburg, it shows you that your car is loaded, is in Randburg, and the driver, when he comes to Randburg, has to lock off and lock on for a new trip back to Pretoria. So but sometimes you'll find that taxis are more operational in Randburg, so it's a dead kilometer to move from Randburg, float, go to Pretoria, or vice versa. But we are used to this, and we said, now we must move towards scheduling of taxis, which will take us sometimes, because now this is new, unless we come to an agreement with government, because we are still saying we are the only industry that is not subsidized.
Yeah.
But we said, let's not complain, let's go to the tables. We are engaged in the National Department of Transport as we speak. And it shows that somewhere we are getting each other.
Okay.
Yes.
There are long-held views about the taxi industry and about taxi drivers that I want to put to you to respond to. One of them is that you kill competition. In other words, literally murder your competitors. That it's a violent industry and that you're not able to adjust to current transformation within the public sector. What is your response to the fact that even the word Nkepile, it was popularized by, the taxi industry, that you actually have hits on competition?
Thank you for that one. And this is a very worrying issue for all of us. But you must understand that SANTACO does not represent criminals. And the criminals must be dealt with by law enforcement. And we are against those that are killing each other in the name, if I'll put it, because you cannot burn your own house and live in it. Those that are making real business from this business, I don't think they've got that right to go and kill each other, because it's self-hatred. But it has been happening for quite some time.
For years.
And Tina, what we've done from our side, we met with the Minister of Police back then, Babu Umkunu, the one who's just out now.
Okay.
Before the
one who's on leave.
Yeah, the one on leave. And now we saw that no, it does not have that. We wrote straight to the state president. To say we are tired. We need people that are killing people to be arrested. Simple as that. Because you
think it's the impunity that
correct.
allows it to continue.
Yes. We said, look, we want action in terms of this. And the president took us just a week to respond, and then he sent a team to our offices to say, yes, they're on top of it.
So how would you respond to South Africans who think it's a taxi mindset to kill, to solve problems through murder and the barrel of the gun?
To the communities, we will say, yes, safety is our concern, of course, for both. Because remember, this killing sometimes affects commuters. You'll find that, Mama was going to work, then he was caught. He was
caught in a crossfire,
and now pass on. We are saying we are very sorry, and we cannot run away from saying it happens in our name or by our members. But we are saying in terms. That's why I touch on issues of a council, for example. If a member is found to be involved, our member involved in these killings, and after that is arrested, and nothing happens, the taxis are still on the road. So meaning we've got too many criminals in our system. So we want to come to a stand to say, if someone is criminally charged, like what is happening now, your Madlanga Commission, you are criminally charged, you must be given a red card from the taxi industry, because we can't continue working with criminals.
Are you doing it now, or is that a goal and a wish?
It's a goal and a wish, this one.
You're not implementing it right now?
Yes, we are busy now with it to bring the policies so that we address the council issue and bring those policies in to say, this is what we are doing. No one, even the driver. Remember, there's a lot that is happening. You've got to train them. The owners, you have to train them to understand business. Drivers, you have to train them to understand that they are professional drivers who operates public transport for South Africans, poor and rich. So they need to understand and adjust. You'll have a behavior of a driver who say, why ungathengi imoto yakho? If this particular person that they are saying thengi imoto yakho buys his own car, then it means we won't have passengers. So this is one thing that we are trying to teach and work out. We also created what we call SANTACO Employment Agency, so that we can be able to vet. I'm sure you've spoken about this nice, it's not a nice name, Nkabi, and it's so much related to us as the taxi industry. But it happens in all spheres. In politics, there's always Nkabis, but always when you get a political killing, it's linked to a taxi. That this Nkabi was working for this taxi industry. So this Nkabi is, because as the name says, Tina, as SANTACO is saying, we have to clean up these things. It's not something that is good for us, and it's not something that we want to work and talk about it, but we want to say to our commuters that we are coming with what you call digital impempe. And the digital impempe is that it addresses so many things. It addresses GBVF. If a passenger is in our custom, he can simply get into a digital platform, touch a button by the wink of an eye, because we are doing engagement with some of the biggest security companies in terms of response, quick response, and so on, and tracking of that particular vehicle. Remember, what we have is that you'll remember people are talking about Lama squad cars, and these squad cars are also linked to Nkabi, that system of Nkabis. Now, Ama squad cars, what we are doing, this is not a wish, is what we are doing now. To say provinces, talk to your regions talk to your associations to give us a data of your patrollers. We need a car registration number. We need squad or personnel in the car. So when someone calls and say, car so and so, in Soweto, we know exactly where does the car belong. If it's a particular association, we go direct to association. These people were engaged in because others, you cannot identify a criminal and a formal patroller or Nkabi. So because Nkabis, we can't formalize what you call Nkabi. Tina, we can only formalize to a level of people that are legally so and are in the ecosystem to make sure that we are in control and we are providing safe and reliable transport system.
What about the mindset? I mean, clearly you still have members who have that mindset that competition is to be taken out.
Yes.
What are you doing to address that?
We address it in so many formal ways. One is that we engage with so-called competitors. For example, you remember the e-hailing story in Soweto, and who was all over the news, SANTACO. We said to them, this is not the way to go, colleagues. They've got that mindset, and I agree. And we said, we need proper training now. we are engaging in terms of, because some of the mindset, you'll have to do it the formal way to train people to understand that we cannot kill ourselves. Like, let me give a typical example. We are dealing with Uber South Africa. They are coming with programs that they are saying, we don't want to see what has happened before. And mindset of other people are saying, no, but why don't you create your own app in South Africa? I said, okay, you go to China, you go to other countries, they've got, but those countries economically, they are well off. Tina, what can we do? Because Uber is there. You can't face it out. Bolt is there. And they've got experience of doing those. And Uber, you cannot compete with Uber. If Uber says to me, come, let me give you 70% of operations in SANTACO so that you are able to have even these members who comes in to understand the system. This is how then we start working. We are engaging even tomorrow. We are in Durban to talk about the same thing. I think there's a pilot that is running of the scooters in Alexander. You know, now it also connects to your Uber Feeds, sort of, where you connect for going to restaurants or groceries, you know, your checkers and whatnot. We said, but let's not fight these people. Let's come up with a strategy. How? Because now you complain.
To integrate.
Yeah, because now you keep on sleeping and you kill. At the end of the day, you won't be there because people will move out. The system will just kick us out.
Yeah.
So we are trying. We are working on the mindset issue, and it's yes, but we are achieving. We are pushing, and I think there's a breakthrough towards that. And I hope that let's say 2020. Now we are on the election mode. We are going for elections, but after that, we have to have a 2026, 2030, 35 strategy to say now how do we come into those systems, unlike killing each other for competition. And that we are winning. I can promise it's a big dream, and the mission and vision is very clear, and our strategy is very clear.
Another criticism is that you don't pay tax. I mean, you estimate it to be worth 100 billion rand. And OUTA, which is the Organization Against Tax Abuse, estimates that you could be injecting 2 billion rand annually into the fiscus if you were taxed and regulated.
Yes. Corporatisation is an answer. Once we are corporatized, good, it will solve so many problems. Because remember, even let me talk about just the labor one and touch and leave it. If individual owners will register drivers individually, you think we can win it in that particular? Because when number 100 register, number 1 defaults. So you need an organized and a corporate structure that
you need control.
Yeah, we need control. Yeah. And associations are non-profit organizations, associations, because they've got individuals that are running. But for a member to qualify to get a permit, he needs to have a tax clearance certificate. And as much as we are most consumers of and we are paying VAT. Look at our vehicles. The price of a vehicle now is too expensive, and we're buying individually. There's VAT element on that. So
yes. So the ordinary South African also does that. They pay VAT, but they're also taxed. Their salary is taxed.
Yes. So what we are doing, and the answer to that, I think corporatization is the answer. The sooner
and you're not against it.
We can't.
The whole thing of taxi recapitalization and regulating the taxi industry has been talk for many, many years.
Many years, yes.
And I think many people ask themselves, is the taxi industry against this, or is government dragging its feet? Who is to blame that 32 years down the line, post-democracy, we're still talking about the regulation of the taxi industry?
Yeah, the problem was talk in the boardrooms and not implementing. From government side, both from our side.
Both sides. And it's not that you're reluctant and you prefer to work in a disorganized, unorganized, uncontrolled, unregulated way.
Yeah, if that was an issue, I think we wouldn't have agree on the BRTs. You remember BRTs?
Well, there was a lot of killing that happened on that during that time.
And remember, the killings was there, but who are the real shareholders of the system? Taxi operators. Look, the one in Soweto. Look, the one in Tshwane.
Aren't you worried about how it's doing now? It seems to be
Look, government is worried because there's no bumps on the seats. Remember, they are looking at more bumps to move into the systems. Your Tshwane one, your Western Cape as well.
Yeah, the Western Cape is doing pretty well.
Pretty well. So
but
now
here in Gauteng, we're struggling.
Yeah, we are struggling.
In
Especially the 12-year contract in Soweto has expired. It's a challenge. Buses are not there. There's a lot of challenges in terms of compliance for owners to understand corporate governance, to follow up rules accordingly. But it tells you that at least we are moving to the right direction. As long as, because government also is coming with, you've said it, TRSA, for example. The purpose that the TRSA, why TRSA is there is to make sure that it assists.
The taxi recapitalization.
Yeah, taxi recap. The old taxis must move in. And so, it has been happening. And not all cars.
But very slowly.
Yeah, so it's now we need to look at it. Why is it not achieving that goal that government was looking to? But formally is that it's in essence, the minister was saying they want to de-risk the taxi operators. In other words, the bank, when you scrap your vehicle and you take it, so you need to pay less installments. You can't pay, most cars now, it's between 15 and 20,000 per month on a route that is doing 8,000. So your route calculations does not cover. And remember, you must maintain. You pay the driver, maintain the vehicle, put petrol and so on. So it becomes a challenge. But government is coming in to say, let's de-risk and see how best. But we also have a business wing as SANTACO. We are not sitting and watching. We've got what we call taxi choice. Is our business wing. Yeah, we are working together to say, taxi choice you do, we are policy, taxi choice will do business. We've got chairperson of the board and so on. And I mean, I'm presiding over policies, constitutional issues, and the mandate to represent this taxi industry. Yes.
When it comes to subsidies, where are we there?
Yes, we are sitting. We had a meeting, the last meeting. Now there's a committee that is formed to work on, to look at the model of how can the government subsidize the taxi industry. But up until, that's why we want to balance all. We are doing what you call corporatisation. Once government, remember during Balula, they touched on this to say, no, for us to qualify, we need to be formal and registered. Most associations did that. But after that, it was quiet. And you know that if you don't submit on these companies, they are going to be deregistered. So we have to start a program again and again. But
so there hasn't been consistent follow-through, also because of the change of ministers consistently all the time.
Yeah. And now you can imagine, we are going for elections, even we are going to municipal elections after we go to national elections. The minister obviously is going to change. And the new minister comes in, it's a new story again.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm very interested in the business wing of SANTACO, actually. What happened to SANTACO Express? Remember that project?
The airline.
Yeah.
Yeah, the airline.
You saw a gap.
Yes.
But taking advantage of that gap proved harder than imagined, right?
Yeah. Yes.
What happened?
We lacked professionalism there. That's where we lost
lacked professionalism.
Yeah. We needed people that understands this airline industry, how it works, where to. So it was just a concept, and it flew from here to, and it never came back. Yeah. So we are saying it's still a dream that we are looking into. We are engaging. There are other service providers that are coming to see us to educate us. But we also said maybe we've not covered the ground enough. That's why we lacked that one, because always it will come positive, but others will criticize it from our side, not from the broader communities. But we are saying it's still something that we are looking at. The SANTACO Express is still our dream. We want to see ourselves on the skies, but let's have peace and unity on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah, then we'll be able to fly.
Yeah.
So you can't fly and on the ground is not. The ground is not fertile. What is going to happen? So we still want to engage and get. We are now, in terms of diversification, we are getting also into other sectors, your bus sector, and we want to get peacefully so.
Yes, because it is in diversifying that I think you might reduce the tension and the opportunities for violence, etc. When competition gets a little bit too unbearable for some, that they resort to violence, etc. Tell me about some of the other initiatives or ventures that you've embarked upon. I saw something around a petrol station and a retail space shop. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, let me start with the petrol station one. Hence, I'm giving you example that we are working on the Unity platform. You saw the ones in Mamelodi.
Yes.
Mamelodians are NTA affiliates, fully fledged NTA members. And SANTACO opened that.
I saw. You were there.
I was there. I opened it myself. And it tells you that we are
work together.
We are working together. This is one example that we are saying to most people. If you want to approach Unity, which other way to approach that is the only road to do it. So they've got that trust. I was on the program. I did not invite myself. They invited me. I went there because it has been a long journey for them to come to where they are. Because the land parcel where they put that petrol station was donated to the taxi industry during the era of Sputla, Ramokgopa, when he was a mayor. He donated that land parcel for the taxi industry. And then we leased it to the Mamelodians for 99 years. Now they are doing business there. They are still going to bring, what you say, the container in the box. We call it business in the box, the one for the space.
Okay.
Yes.
How will that work?
It's a container, containerized. Remember, these ranks, some are formal, some are informal ranks. You don't have electricity. You can't build a structure. So you bring a container. So containers are able to address even in the rural and semi-rurals and urban areas. So we have that. Mamelodians, they do have one. I think we've got one in Tembisa. We've got one in Olive and Oudtshoorn. There's another one in...
and is this exclusively for the taxi industry?
For the taxi industry.
Even the petrol station, it's exclusively for the taxi industry.
I know there's...
And is the petrol subsidized?
No.
Or is it the same?
No. For our members, look, we are talking
for your members.
Yeah, for our members, yes, we've got rebates that we are giving back in terms of discounts to get it cheaper. Yes, that's exactly what we are doing.
Okay.
Yes.
And obviously the oil price in recent time has affected you.
Big time.
Put pressure on you. Going forward, I mean, is there talk or discussion around electric taxis?
Yes.
Is there?
Yes.
Because I know Uber is already starting to venture into that.
Yes, we are. The only thing you see going slowly is because we don't have proper infrastructures. Where are we going to recharge this vehicle? So on and so on. So we're talking to Salga municipalities to give us space and formalize this rank so that we can have a proper infrastructures to recharge these vehicles. Because we can't just go buy an electric vehicle, but you don't have any
Yes, but I mean, this is obviously long-term vision.
Yeah, it's what we have in now.
And this current crisis sort of pushes one to fast-track some of these initiatives, right?
Sure.
So, and sea and rail travel, there was talk of that during the Zuma era.
Yeah.
What's the latest?
On the rail, let's give one example. Remember that the taxi industry is a feeder to Gautrain. Maybe you know that one. Your Wynberg, in Wynberg and in Centurion. And then there's an extension of the future of the Gautrain to extend to Mamelodi, Hammanskraal, Soweto, Lanseria, and so on. But now the good thing is that we've done it, and I think we consulted with Jack van der Merwe at that time. He was the one responsible, and they did give us the feeders of Gautrain. But we said that is not enough. We're extending. I think even this afternoon we are going to sit with PRASA to say how can the small feed the big, and how do we benefit, how our members are going to benefit, because it's about the safety of a commuter. The train must just not drop and say we are out.
Yeah.
So we need collaboration, work together. You drop your passenger, I take your passenger to a safe, back home safely. So that's why we are engaging now with PRASA. The Gautrain one is done. It's just processes to formalize and bring more. Like that's one. The Wynberg is between Amster and OUTA. They are doing it wonderful for a long time. In fact, they are the first to start it. Then we followed with the Tshwane one, your Centurion, Arcadia, and so on. It's taxi-owned, that one. Yeah, so now we are seeing associations in all areas. They can now be able, because PRASA is willing to sit down and talk, and let's see how can we work it together. So that, obviously, it will do what the conference said, the now conference that was in Gallagher State, the National Department of Transport conference, where the president pushed for a transport council, National Transport Council, inclusive of everyone. And then two, and that in terms of subsidy as well is one of those. And Tina, from our side, we are saying, let us get ourselves ready in terms of corporatization so that we are proactive. We need not to be reactive. So we must be ready because we know some of the requirements will push us there. So we have to now be ready and engage even more robustly in terms of making sure that our members now are able in terms of affordability, and so that when we feed, because I think even Gautrain, they've got special cars that they are using. It's in our name, but it's not the same taxis that we are. They've got cars that are looking special for Gautrain. That's why they are branded Gautrain. Prasa might say to us, we want your vehicles to be branded same like Prasa, to show that this is a feeder between yourselves and us. So in terms of who pays who, how, this is needs a round table discussions.
Okay.
Yes.
And just lastly, one of the founding fathers of SANTACO, Mswazi Msibi, has been in the news. He's late right now, but he's been in the news linked with organized crime and the capture of the criminal justice system. You knew him?
Yes, I knew Mswazi. As the founder of SANTACO, yes, I knew him. But me, now, in personal, I don't know other dealings. All that I know is the founder of SANTACO. And then we respected him based on that. They are founders. Remember, he's not the only founder. He's been with Manza
I said
Tsebe,
one of the founding fathers,
Manza Tsebe and them, or Joe Swanyon. We've got these people. But other dealings outside of the taxi industry, that one, I can't comment. I don't know these other stories. I'm also surprised, as you are surprised with how. But I'm watching when Tina, from where he was our father in terms of taxi operations and taxi structures, but other dealings outside of that, we don't know.
So you had no clue?
No, not at all.
And how have you received the news? I mean,
it's
very, very disturbing what he's implicated in.
Yeah, it is disturbing, and the unfortunate part is no more. Talking about someone who's not there, we don't know which are the truth and which are just allegations and so on. So we said, look, it is what it is. And we know he was a very rich man. He was doing his businesses. He's got constructions. He's got these properties and so on. But we said, Tina, in our space, he was in fact the fleet owner. He was he's got more fleets than anyone in South Africa. We would have more than 200 taxis. So nationally. So, he was a big figure. But, in terms of other dealings, justice systems, and this one we are also surprised like everyone else.
And what kind of person was he? How, in your relationship with him?
No, he was a leader. When things were wrong, he will tell you straight, this is wrong, this I don't accept. He was one of those leaders that are holding. It's good sometimes to be a leader that holds. And people will say, hey, if you don't agree to some of the things, you'll be killed. I don't know that one. I was elected during his tenure, and I grew up in the industry whilst he was running. Look, when SANTACO was founded, I was still young, very young. In fact, I came from the drivers. I was a driver myself.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. I was a driver, promoted to be owner, and then, as time goes on, and then I knew Mswazi. And all this, election stories as to what will call you, talk to you guys. I don't want this. I don't want the killings and so on. He was that kind of a person. At some point, some will say, hey, we miss him. And now news will say he was involved in criminal justice systems, the organized crime. We said, hey, this one it's a big one. We are not even looking at that because Tina, at the farm, he will call you, you'll attend there, and that's it. After you move out, you go out. Who comes after us? We don't know.
You never came across any of these people that were allegedly summoned to the farm?
No. My colleagues, taxi operators, when we are called, we'll be called as SANTACO leaders. We'll go as SANTACO leaders. After that, we go. He was our father, all of us. Everybody knows about it. Yes. And now, myself, when the killings were so rife in Pretoria, I remember the story between him and Joe
Ferrari. Yeah.
Because I was now the chairperson of the province at the same time, the chairperson of that particular region. I had to come in and I went to see him and said, Baba, we can't continue like this, killing drivers. No, it can't be. Because these drivers, he said, no. but Mus, you are a chairman. You must tell us what. I said, no, I want to talk to you and Joe. He said, do it. And I resolved that matter.
And they were killing.
Yeah, drivers were killed, yes. It was all over the news. We wake up in the morning, the driver killed. Who killed this driver? No one will ever come and say, I killed. But I said, we can't be. When we spoke about it, and Joe also said, no, good, I thank you, leader. We don't know why it's happening, but let's talk to our members. And they spoke to, because they are operating in one association. They said,
yes,
but you can't leave such a legacy. And they resolve, even if they did not again come together, but at least the killing stopped.
Did they admit that they were behind the killings?
Anyone will say, no, I'm wondering, because they've got people, the runners that are on the ground. When we disagree on something and we have people, even if we are not sending them, they do it in our name.
Is that what they were saying?
Yeah, they are doing that in our name. Even now, you will get people in Limpopo say, no, I mean, I'm representing President Sibanyoni, and there's a car that they normally say, there's a car reverse and what, and say, no, there's a car for Sibanyoni doing operations in Limpopo. And I once told and advised one chairperson, I said, oh, you've got such a car. Did Sibanyoni talk to you? He said, no. I said, stop that car and see if Sibanyoni will call you. He stopped that car until today. Sibanyoni does not even know about that operation. You see, now, these criminals, they use that advantage. To say, no, because you see me once walking with Sibanyoni, then I can tell you anything, you'll believe me. Because you'll see me in a meeting talking to him. So, this man is connected to anything that I come to you and say, Sibanyoni Norumsibi said, you'll listen to me. Only to find that, no, this unfounded story it has never happened. But some, they are using it for their disadvantage. Yes.
But, I mean, all of this that's coming out of the news is not doing you any favors in trying to professionalize and clean the taxi industry.
Look, and that's what we are aware of. And we said, let's focus. It's now important for us to focus. There's a lot that is being said to individual people, not to a structure like SANTACO. SANTACO, it's an independent structure that government formed. Yes, they formed it, but it's got democratic principles. That's why we are going for elections. New leaders will be elected and so on. So then we need to focus to what is it strategically, what is it that we want to achieve for our operators. Things have happened, good and bad things have happened, but we need to focus and move on.
And the treatment of commuters in the taxis.
Yes.
Are you working on that?
Yes, we are busy on the training through OUTA and in terms of compliance. Remember, and sometimes this thing of registration, like you've said it, I still remember when I was asking OUTA in terms of compliance. I think most of our members, they do have companies, but the problem is that there's a particular sector number that we normally have to use at the CIPC to show that this is specifically for taxi operators. So people are registering companies not knowing that. So knowledge there. And training through OUTA with my team in the office, we are working on OUTA training. We are still going to work on inductions. Now, lately, associations has gone for elections. Provinces have gone for elections. Regions has gone for elections. Now it's a national. After this, then there must be proper handovers for both structures to give over and report to members properly. So compliance is key now in terms of our programs going forward to say we need inductions, we need proper training of drivers. You know what has happened in the last time is that we did to do it so many trainings for driver, but after that we don't have that thing to keep them.
Or they leave the industry.
The
trained ones.
Yeah, they train then go to other
and
look for greener pastures. Yeah, you see, that's why.
So you have to constantly be training.
Yeah, so now we need to come up with that. That's why we came up with the SANTACO Recruitment Agency to keep our drivers within the system. And that's how you can clean it, because you can't keep your train and the bad ones comes in, the good ones goes out. You see, we need to keep that good products that we are taking for training to keep, and we are consistent in terms of giving services to our commuters.
And does that include the training? Does it include driver sort of driving behavior on the roads?
Driving behavior, yes. Customer care, there's a number of programs that we are coming up with. Yes.
Okay. And lastly, what would you like to say to commuters who have this image of the taxi industry as a violent, uncaring, law-breaking sector?
To our commuters, we want to apologize for the wrongs that made them to take us the way they are taking us. But we can guarantee that we are cleaning the systems, and we want to apologize as well as structures to say we are getting down to work to make sure that our commuters are safe and we provide proper transport. And they need not forget, taxi, I think, is the second after soccer in terms of business and the size. So and it's black owned. Look, we are communities because most of us are in townships. When someone needs a quick transport, taxis are there to do that service. We know that we've got challenges and our customers are not well treated, but we are working on it. And we can promise and say to them, thank you to keep on supporting us, even if there are issues that need serious attention for them. For us to provide that service to them. So, and we are promising that we are going to work and make sure that we represent this structure and our commuters in a proper way and in a proper manner. And we want also to respect the views that they are bringing forward. And we are cleaning. We are saying we are working very, very hard to clean. We see some comments on social media platforms, only few that will talk good about it, taxis, and most of the people are not quite happy the way we behave. But we are saying, yes, a behavior issue, it's an issue, and we are saying we are going to clean it up, and we are working on it robustly so, and we won't rest until we get it right. It can't be 100%, but at least more than 50% must be achieved to make sure that our customers comes back. One day we want to see an advert on ENCA talking about the safety of a taxi. So we want those adverts. We need to advertise and start to give confidence to our customers. Thank you.
Tsebe, we wish you everything of the best.
Oh, thank you so much.
You've got your work cut out.
Thank you.